Hey guys, what's up? I just want to give you guys an update on the changes that I've been making to my Enduro. Basically, I've been looking at removing the bed for a while now, and I've been looking at a cage setup for the rear. I mean, there's a number of them that you could choose out there. One of the more popular ones that I've seen, or actually one of the first one that I've seen being put on the Enduro, is the Proline cage right here. But I wasn't really happy with the way it looked. I just got it as a backup because I know it fits. The Vetera Ascender cage right here. This is the Vetera Ascender K10 cage. I also considered this one, but it's a little bit too long, won't exactly fit, and this actually gets in the way of the rear tires, so I wasn't able to use this either. One option that I have not tried is the axial honcho cage. That one actually might look decent, but I don't have one, and I have not picked up one to give that a try. One cage that I did think might work and that I think looks great is the cage on my GMADE bomb. I love the way that it's angled, and I love the way it looks, so I thought I'd give the GMADE bomb cage a shot. Alright, so here is my Enduro Sendero with the GMADE bomb cage. As you can see, you can make it fit, and it looks great with this cab. This cab is longer than the bomb cab, so the cage actually sits back further than it would normally on some other truck. It's still the same length as the stock bed, but I wish I would have been able to kind of shorten it up and give it a shorter body length. And one of the benefits of this cage is you get this rear flipping hinge right here. Now, one issue is that the pegs here for the hinge are not long enough, so I'm going to have to find a way to extend these pegs, or find a way to just kind of keep this connected so it doesn't fall off. Now, you'll notice that my shock setup is different. That cage was originally meant for the bomb, which uses a cantilever suspension setup. With this setup, here, let me put this on. You need to move the shocks because the cage is in the way of the shock hoops, and you also need to extend the rear wheelbase because you'll need to clear this part of the cage right here. And I'll go over which parts I used. So first things first, for the rear bomb cage, you will need this part right here, and I'll put a link to these in the description below. This is for the GMADE bomb rear cage, and what I use here are the Boom Racing shock keys. I will put a link to these in the description below as well. You'll see here that I flipped the rear bumper mount upside down, and that is just so that the cage has the proper it's not so the cage can properly close, because if it's down below, the cage can't. It's the hinge is lower than the rest of the chassis here, and it won't be able to close. Of course, if they had this, if I used the front mount in the rear, it would work perfectly. But the problem is the rear mounts actually extend out further, so it actually works better with the cage. Now, for the rear, I had to lengthen the links in order to clear that cage. The links that you see here are from the GMADE bomb 324mm link kit. It's right here, and this is the part for that cage, or for the links. This is the part number for the 324mm rear link kit for the GMADE bomb. and these work really nicely on the Enduro. So the 4 links here are extended. One thing that also needs to be extended is the drive shaft. Right here you're seeing the axial WB8 wild bore drive shaft. I did try to use the Enduro drive shaft, but it ended up being too short, so I bought another drive shaft kit. The stock rear comes like that. So I bought another kit to get another longer length shaft, but it's still too short, and when it's extended you only have like that much of the insert connecting it together, and I was afraid that it was just going to drop out. So I actually had to end up using the axial wild bore drive shafts. Alright, so extend the links, use longer drive shafts. The other thing I had to do was change the springs on the rear shocks. With this shock setup, these shocks are more prone to kind of compressing more easily and just drooping way down. So what I did is I actually went out and got the 2.47 pounds per inch yellow shock springs from Element. So with the cage on, I mean, it's still got enough articulation, or it's not too stiff, but it'll hold up so that it doesn't droop down with the cage. One thing I found with this setup is also that the rear suspension has quite a bit of articulation. So let me get this body on here. Alright, so with this shock setup you actually get quite a bit of rear articulation, a little bit too much in fact. So I don't know if I want to try to limit it, but for now I think it'll be okay. And here you see that it's still got some good movement. It's not too stiff. You also notice here for the front bumper I am using the GMADE bomb front bumper, and this bumper is actually included with the rear cage kit. So when you purchase the rear cage kit for the bomb, you get the front bumper as well, and it seems to be a good fit. So all in all, that's what's been going on with my Enduro. Trying to get this GMADE bomb cage set up to work. I can't wait to get it out on the rocks to test this out with this configuration, and I'm sure there will be more changes going onto this truck. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.